Hey guys, this is John. Welcome back to the channel. Today what we're going to do is we're going to build up that Cannondale. Some of you remember I picked it up at the bike swap a couple weeks ago. Alright, got myself a Cannondale frame. We're going to put that Sante group from the Cannondale I bought last year. Then we're going to put a Shimano Sante group on it. We're going to talk about that. What the heck is Shimano Sante? And is it the answer to a question that nobody asked? We'll go over that too. So let's get started. You know, I remember when this group came out in the 80s, everyone wondered, what is this stuff about? It wasn't for racing, it wasn't for touring, and touring was a big thing back then. It was what's called a lifestyle group. People were buying high-end bikes, and they weren't racing. And this was a fashion group. However, even though it was a fashion group, it's actually a great group. We'll go over it today. Now here's our frame. It's a beautiful blue. Now some of you recall in the video last week that I talked about maybe painting it white to go with the Sante group. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it the color that it is. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's almost like a matte finish. And I think it's going to go perfectly with the components. It's a 2.8 frame, which very lightweight frame. Still American made at this point. And we have to make some changes. First of all, it comes with a carbon fork. Check that out. And I am taking off the Suntour Superb headset. I already did the fork race off camera. It did come with a Suntour Superb seat post. Very gorgeous, wrapped in paper towel. Now this is a 60 centimeter frame, which for me actually works. Because I'm getting older, I do enjoy the longer top tube. As we put this thing together, we are going to go over the components and beautiful stuff. Let's start with the headset. Look at all the parts on this headset. Now I spared you the details of cleaning it, but of course you have your cup, your bearing, you have a dust seal, your top race bearing dust seal, adjustable cup, and that locks into a washer, lock ring, and two different covers for aesthetics. You'll see that go on. Now in this headset, you got your seal and you got your bearing. Drop that in. We'll put that in the frame. It's already greased. Another seal, bearing, grease, it's all in there. Now in this particular headset, make sure that your seal is on all the way around. It's not crooked, it's not being crushed. That's important. You have the serrated edge here. We have a serrated washer, lock washer here. We're just going to key that in. Make sure that sits flat. Now what I just did off camera was I pushed this dust cap on. It was kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. And then I put the lock nut on, which I didn't tighten. But look at all those extra threads we have. This has a fairly low stack height. And when you put the dust cap on, look at the gap I have here. So I'm going to build that with the gap, and hate to say it, off camera, I am going to cut that down and lower that. Now in doing the Sante bottom bracket here, it's a little unique. You have this beveled cup here, and in that you have a rubber seal. Here on the adjustable side, I have not put that in yet. Here's your seal. You see it's kind of grooved, and of course that fits in. Now when I clean these things, normally I use a degreaser, but these might be getting a little bit brittle, so I didn't use a degreaser. I actually used Tri-Flow, which is a nice lubricant. So we'll put that in the cup. Yeah, it's in there. You can see it's in all the way around, and it should move freely. Your Sante bottom bracket width is, this one's 68 by 108. Now, back when this group was introduced, biopaste was a thing, and this definitely has it. And you can tell, look at this, the beautiful work that they did on the chainring. They anodized the cranks white, or like an off-white. They labeled it. The hidden bolts, which are in the back, You know, it's just more of a stealthy look. And that was the idea behind this group, is that they're going to have a more fashionable group. I don't know if you agree with that. Tell me in the comment section below what you think. But I think it's gorgeous. Now, the component group below Sante was the Shimano 600 tricolor. And honestly, I thought it looked pretty sharp as well. Oh, look, even the dust caps are stealthy looking. Yeah, look at that. Pretty. Yes, pretty. You know I like pretty. This is pretty. Now, the wheel set is pretty unique on this bike. It does have the Sante hubs. They're very, very similar to the Ultegra hub. They do have a very clean looking quick release. They have a satin finish, which is gorgeous. The cassette is, what would you call it, silver anodized? What would you call that? It's not as shiny. It's not like a chrome. It does have arrow spokes. Pretty funky, guys. I mean, this is pretty cool. The spokes are arrow shaped, and the rims are matrix. Now, you know that wasn't in stock in any Cannondale because that's a Trek rim. They weren't bad. They're just a little bit heavy. The tires are old and worn, so we're going to change those. Now, the tires I got are kind of an inexpensive deal. They're made in China. I don't know if they're good or bad, guys. Maybe if you're familiar with that brand that I can't pronounce, you can tell me whether or not that's a decent tire. But when you have 65 bicycles, or 58 with 7 coming, you got to save money somewhere. And I'm not going to be riding this bike a ton, so we're going to try out these tires. We'll see if they're any good. All right, guys, now watch this. Talking about old and dry, listen. Oh, yeah. These things are like just crumbly. Look at the dust in there from the tire. I think I'm going to replace both the tires and the tubes here. See, pretty easy. So I pump them up to 40 pounds. Then I push the bead into place all the way around. This one looks pretty good already. A little bit here. You hear it pop in. That's a good thing. Other side looks good. Now, admittedly, after putting these things on, I'm a little bit impressed because for the price, they went on really, really well. They were not exceptionally hard to put over the rim, but the bead set in perfectly and smoothly and evenly. So pretty excited about that. Now the derailleurs. These are gorgeous. Look at these things. Beautifully anodized, maybe even painted actually. And a nice sprung barrel adjuster. Of course, you got the stealthy pulleys, meaning that the bolts go on from the back. And you can see there's ceramic bushing. Center-on G-pulley. Someone tell me what that is in the comment section. I have no clue. But yeah, even the pivot point here is hidden in the back. So yeah, pretty cool. There's your adjusting bolts. Let's put this baby on. Now, back in the 80s when I ran a shop, I probably put, I don't know, maybe 10 Sante bikes together. And the overwhelming thought that I have was it's basically Ultegra in terms of form and function. And that isn't awful. Ultegra was great stuff. Now, the front derailleur is equally good looking. Check that out. This has got that single pivot point. Once again, bolted in the rear so you can't see it. You know, nice chrome pieces. And the problem with the chrome is right here. It's peeling. I was going to say it's already peeling, but the darn thing is what? 35 years old, so can't complain. No. 38 years old. I'm getting old. All right, after a good cry, I'm ready to keep going here. Now, for the front derailleur, we have to use an adapter because that's a braze-on front derailleur, and we have to put a clamp, and it's adjustable. So I'm actually going to mount the derailleur to this first, then mount it onto the bike. So lay that on there. As you can see, the bolt's got a concave washer on there. I guess that amount of concaveness was standard in the business because never had a problem. So there we go. Let's strap it on. Now, back in the day, Cannondale would have these clamp-on shifter braze-ons. As you can see, this one's got a little bit loose. So we're going to take off these. You can tell this thing had brifters before because it has these barrel adjusters located here. But we're going to go back in time and we're going to put on some down tube shifters. Now, some of you Cannondale geeks already know this, but this is a solid rod that goes through and then you could tighten and loosen it here. Now, what happens over time is you could just keep crushing that tube over time. So right now it's too loose. So I'm going to actually just snug it up a little bit. You don't want to go too tight because if you're going to start just crushing that tube. So I just went about a 1/2 turn and that snugged it up quite a bit. So let's do that. Now on the left-hand shifter side, you have this piece. As you can see, it keys into this piece here, and then it keys into these 4 dots to lock it into place. So let's do that. And I got about a 1/2 turn out of it. So right now it's snug. We're in good shape. And once again, look at that. Sante beauty, isn't it? Supposedly it's got these little grippy things here. And of course you can't see the cable, so you know they got this stealthy cover. Still has some braided wire on from the 80s, so we're going to keep that. Let's put these on. First, you have your index adapter that was purely Shimano. And of course, then from there, your shifter should key right in. There you go. They have a friction mode. Then when you turn this, index mode. Pretty cool. Now, a unique feature of the front is that the front shifter is pre-sprung. So watch this. When you put it on correctly, your shifter is actually upside down. Here we go. So it's on there. Now watch this. You got to come all the way around, and it's pre-sprung. Pretty cool. Well, guys, I don't know if you know, I use my phone to make my videos, and a couple things I noticed while looking at my phone. One, it's 2 o'clock. It's Sunday. It's February 25th, and it's almost 60 degrees outside. So as much as I love this project, I'm going for a bike ride. How can you not go for a bike ride when it's 60 degrees out in February? So I'll give you a little clip from that, and then we'll get back on the bike. Oh, stay tuned, too. Next week's video is going to be a video of me picking up some bikes in Tennessee. I bought that collection, so that's going to be a huge video, guys. You're going to learn a lot about a local guy that is to Tennessee. He's a hero in my book. I finally bought some bikes with some prominence, and we'll talk about that next time. So let's go for a ride. Trail's not awful. It's got some slimy, slippery spots in the shade. It's an aggregate. Oh yeah, I'm sliding around a little bit. I didn't change my tires back to the 38C treaded. I have the 32C slicks. So we'll see how this goes. Well, admittedly, guys, I gave up on the trail. It was too soupy, and I was thinking I was sliding. I had to go back to my treaded tires. So, meantime, I'm enjoying the streets of beautiful Warrenville, Illinois. Do this for an hour and get some exercise. Well, got about 10 miles in. Not too bad. Enough to get the cobwebs out of the system. Just got word a storm is coming, so I can move some cars around. What do you think of that? This? I kind of like that. A little bit of brown. A little dark, maybe? I like that. So I'll tell you what, guys. This wall is getting trashed. A little first world problem here. And it's scuffs from the bikes. There's water dripping down because sometimes I wash a car here. And then over here, this corner's getting beat up just because I'm an idiot. And then I got this wall here. This TV is going to go away. It's going to go right there, right where that sign is. And because that's where people hang out. Here, we're going to do the wood wall. and we're also going to put a couple cabinets. I just don't have enough storage. And it's time to get back on the Cannondale. And we're pretty far along. I do have the barn stem. Put on the chain, we'll tune it up. Well guys, this is a first. I'm untaping the bars, and look what I find. There's a hidden key. I wonder what that's to. Pretty interesting. Let's see, let's just take that. Pull it. Let's pull it. Ugh, come on out. That's that's pretty interesting. I wonder if that's to a locker of some kind. That's a first. So if you had an original 53 or 54 centimeter Cannondale with the Sante group, I think it was from 1990, and you're missing that key, just email me, I'll give it back to you. Now I actually have been looking for this group for a long time. And you know me, I like my stuff kind of blingy and new and kind of, you know, fresh looking. And it's almost impossible to find, because I think the people that rode this stuff were not necessarily just fashion conscious. I think they actually wanted some performance out of their bicycle parts. And this stuff performed well. It's hard to find a group that isn't beat. Now look at the attention to detail on these Sante brakes. They're just gorgeous. A lot of chrome. And even where the brake shoes go up and down, they put some chrome here so you wouldn't rub off the paint. Or anodizing. Tell me if that's paint or anodizing for those who know. Of course, they hid the brake, the pinch bolt in the back. Very nice chrome. And it's held up really well over the years. A very clean looking barrel adjusters. You don't even have a lock nut here. This bolt this threads into here. So yeah, I like it. Pretty sharp. Let's put them on. Okay, for a chain, we're going to use a brand new 7/8 speed, 6/7/8 speed, I guess they call it, HG71, very similar to the vintage one. And why? Because it's going to work. And I know it's not stretched, so let's put her on. Pretty. You know what 80% of you don't know is that at the end of my videos, or towards the end, I usually do, you know, tell you what's coming up. Events, stuff like that. And what's funny is I didn't really realize that people are just not watching that long. They get tuned out. You know, I know I'm not that exciting of a guy, but so I might have to change that. Yeah, I just saw a statistic, and I don't pay much attention to it. This channel is not monetized. I can't talk and put a chain on at the same time. So therefore, I haven't really paid a ton of attention. Well, I found out that no one's watching to the end. Like 18% of you are. So with, you know, a minute or two left, you guys are bugging out, and you're missing stuff. So I might have to change that. Got my vintage Uniglide chain tool. And take this. There you go. Yeah, we need a ferrule here. Too loose. Much better.
We started
Not good. I got a tornado heading right for the house.
And now they're about to.
Holy smoly! Look at this craziness. You know, I was actually freaking out a little bit. I had to check on the family at home, and once everything calmed down, I got back to work. Okay, so now the Handlebar stem that came with the parts kit is a Modolo Professional, and I don't know if you're aware that a lot of these things were defective and they were breaking. So that had to go away, and I went to the basement and I found this. I got a Cannondale stem. I guess that's a 1A, but it has a satin finish. And then also some 66 by 40 bars. 66 refers to the drop versus the 64, which is fine. And I'm excited. Hold on here. These are 68 by 40. I have bad eyes. What makes a 68 bar 68? Because the drop didn't look that deep, like a 66, so I guess I'll have to look that up. But in the meantime, we'll just put them on. Now, I was telling you that all these parts are in good shape, but if you look at this, I actually have a blem here that's pretty nasty. Not only is it a scratch, but it's actually dented. I don't think I've ever seen that. So I'll be touching this up, or maybe even finding a replacement set, but let's put them on. Now, guys, this is how you know you have a sickness when you buy your brake cables in bulk. Just an interesting factoid. I actually took off the end ferrule there because it doesn't need one. Cable stop works really well in there. Also, from the existing bike I got this from, it has these covers here. They plug in the lever. They come around and I guess they give the bar some shape with the cable there. So yeah, I might as well reuse those. Kind of cool. A little bit of tape. Here we go. Look at that. Should tape up pretty good. Let's do this. Good. So I have all the cables, up here tied up to the bar, but I'm not going to wrap the bar until I get the brakes put on, just in case I have to make some adjustments. So I'm just going to string it up and pre-stress some cables, and then we'll tape the bars, and then we're pretty much done. Oh, we got to pick out a seat. I watch a lot of automotive YouTube, and a lot of times these guys that are working in cars, they also work on their shops. And for some reason, I kind of get into that. You know, like the before and afters when they're remodeling. Tell me what you think in the comments section, whether or not that's something you want to see being done. All right, seat the cables. Oh yeah, look at all that. That's seated all right. Turn that barrel adjuster up. Stretch it some more. Turn the barrel adjuster down. And we'll retighten that cable. Now here's an interesting factoid about these brakes. There are flats behind a spring to center them. A 14 millimeter. I think that's the first time I've seen a 14 millimeter used for that. There we go. Nice and simple. Let's do some pre-stressing action. Okay, yeah, everything just seated. All the casings just seated. Let's take the barrel adjuster up here. Let's stretch it some more. And what I like about the cables today as opposed to 30 years ago is they don't stretch as much. All right, let's bring this barrel adjuster back down. Tighten up that cable. An interesting factoid about these levers is that your quick release is right here. So you click this in, your lever comes out, and it opens up your brake shoes. Pretty cool. Okay, for tape we got some Deta tape. Deta, you know. Nice stuff. Looks pretty good. Kind of a bike ribbon, perforated. Pretty. So let's put that on. I love it when it comes with a pre-cut strip here. Put that in there. So we are going to put this on properly. We are starting at the bottom and we'll go to the top. And every time I tape bars, I explain myself a little bit because some of you guys, you know, you're on to me. Sometimes I go from the top down, but that is only with cello tape, the little thin plastic stuff, and also the cloth tape. And that stuff holds on properly. This stuff here, the sticky doesn't seem very sticky. So we'll see how it goes. It doesn't stretch much either. I'm new with this brand. I think I just picked it up somewhere on sale. So yeah, we'll see how it ends up. So guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button if you would, if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Only 20% of you that watch my stuff actually subscribe. Also, too, stay tuned next week, next Friday. I believe it's Friday, maybe Saturday morning. I'll have the video of me picking up that bike collection in Tennessee. I'm just so excited about that. And a little nervous, too. I think I explained why earlier. It's just, you know, picking up some family heirlooms. It's never easy. I couldn't imagine. So, yeah, please do that. And by the way, this stuff is going together pretty good. I didn't like it at first because it wasn't really stretchy. But you know what? End result, very clean looking. You know, and without too much work. So, thumbs up to this this tape. So I had a few of you guys ask, how do I finish the bar? And look at the cut I had to make on that. So when it comes around, here you go. See, then you tape it here. Don't know about you guys, but I like using electrical tape. It works well, it grips really well, and it never fails. Some brands come with this decorative strip, which I don't mind using, but I don't depend on that to hold it. So I actually put it over for decorative purposes. And look at that. I hit it when the seam ends here. I'm going to have to change that. I know, I'm just kind of a dork. So let's try this. Boink. Let's see where that ends up. Yeah, behind. That's fine. There you go. Well, let me encourage you guys to come to an event on, was it June 7th through the 9th at the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Museum in Auburn, Indiana. There's a bike show. There's where there's actually, they're judging bikes. It's kind of cool. There's going to be a bike swap. There'll be speakers, banquets, the whole thing. Look it up. Look up the Auburn Duesenberg Cord Museum bike show. Matter of fact, I'll just link it down below. I'm already signed up. It'd be great to see you guys there and meet some of y'all that watch the channel. I say some of y'all because I don't want to meet everybody. But nah, I'm just kidding. It'd be fun. So come along with that. I'll have a couple bikes displayed. At least one for sure. I think I'm bringing the Jack Taylor. And then I'll have another one on the car because we're going to have a bike ride when we're there. So well, that's another thing. I guess some guys organize a bike ride. It'd just be a lot of fun. So come to that and should be a hoot. As you can see, it came out nice and clean. Pretty. I like it. Let's try to clean up those hoods. Well, here's the saddle I'm going to put on there. It is an absolutely lousy choice, but it'll finish off the bike, and we're going to put a different one on when we get a chance. Tell me, guys, in the comments section, what would you like to see on this bike? I'm thinking a white Sella Italia Turbo. Any ideas? Let me know. That turned out beautiful. Look at this thing. Gorgeous. Everything but the saddle. I don't like the saddle. But on that blue paint, the Sante stuff really sticks out. Now, does that matter? Not necessarily, but if you're buying a Sante group, obviously it does. Because we want to live that luxurious lifestyle. But it's just beautiful. The way the colors go together. The matte blue. The white, the componentry. Just gorgeous, just wonderful. I think this is a great build. This one's going to get ridden by me. This one's not getting hung up. And I love this thing. It's gorgeous. I think we made a right decision. I think it's the right frame for this group. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this build. And we'll see you next week.